I have been summoned. Yo, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving day today. You're eating good, you're enjoying with your family. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. My name is Rato Cincy, the Light Warrior. Welcome back to another episode of Nostalgia Gaming. Now, I had to put these instructions out there just in case you guys forgot, or some of you are new to the channel and haven't heard of this series on here yet. So anyways, Nostalgia Gaming is basically a series that I do on YouTube where I cover some of my most favorite games of all time, whether it's nostalgic and it's old, or about like 5 years ago, or it's just something new that's coming out soon. And I'm just going over these games, and I just talk about my childhood and my story behind these games, and yeah, that's basically how it works. And then after I cover that said game, more than likely I'll do a couple gameplay videos on it, with the exception of doing a full gameplay series on that on that said game. So now that you know how these videos work, let's go ahead and cover the game that we'll talk about today. Now, I have spoke on video games individually, but I don't think I talk about the game series entirely enough. Now, I may have done one episode where I spoke on the majority of the Assassin's Creed series and how much I love that game, but that's pretty much the only episode I did a whole gaming series on. So this will be another one of those videos where I actually cover the game series. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you know I've covered a lot of games on the first-person shooter side. Most specifically, I spoke a lot about Call of Duty games in the past, but I don't think I really touched based on my love for the fighting game genre for a while. Now, yes, I have a decent amount of Naraka Blade Point content on this channel, but Naraka Blade Point, yes, it is a fighting game, but it's also a battle royale genre. We're talking about actual fighting games. That's no disrespect to Naraka though. I will always love Naraka Blade Point, but I'm talking about fighting games with straight up 1v1s, throwing hands with about over 30 characters in the game. We're talking about those kind of games. We're talking mix-ups, combo juggling, resets, even coming across piece of crap players that'll pay over $100 for a fighting game just to do one damn move. Now, there are a lot of fighting games that come to mind when I listed those things right there, and we will cover those later in the Nostalgia Gaming episodes. But the one specific fighting game series that I want to talk about today is none other than this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to have Tekken content on this channel for a while, but I just wanted to wait for the right time, because by that time I already had Tekken 7, people already were on Tekken 8. So I was like, you know what, what's the point? Even though it would have been still dope to do Tekken 7 content, I just thought it would have been a better idea to just wait a little bit. But yeah, anyway, today we will be covering a little bit about the Tekken game series. Now, a little story about how I was introduced to this game. Honestly, to be real with you, I was introduced to this game the same time I was introduced to Mortal Kombat, which Mortal Kombat will also be another nostalgic gaming episode that I will do right after this, because I kind of gave it away after saying the name. But anyways, about the story. Now, you can tell me I'm wrong for saying this, but around about 2006 to about 2008, I honestly felt like Mortal Kombat and Tekken were literally neck and neck. And I'm saying that because that may have been the reason why I was introduced to both games at the same time. Even though this is an episode specific for the Tekken series, I do have to talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat just so I can better explain this. But anyways, at that time, me and my oldest brother, we had multiple consoles. We even had a Nintendo, the Game Boy, the PS2, and the 360, all around about the same time period. We were literally playing many of the Tekken games and the Mortal Kombat games all at the same time. We were playing Deception, Armageddon, Tekken 4, Tekken 5, Tekken 3. And if I'm not mistaken, during the PlayStation version of Tekken 5, you could literally play 3, 2, and 4 on the same disc, if I'm not mistaken. And that's how we was able to play multiple Tekken titles, because we didn't necessarily have to pay for that much, because we were playing that shit all on one disc. And that was more than enough for me to catch up on what Tekken and Mortal Kombat was about. Well, with Mortal Kombat, no, they didn't have that feature in the older games, but it was more than enough to help me catch up on what these games were about. So with that being said, literally from 2006 probably all the way to 2009, more than likely 2008, but during those few years, that was literally my golden era of fighting games. That's enough about Mortal Kombat. We are talking about Tekken today. Now, I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record with a lot of these episodes, but where do I begin? Well, for one, we need to start with the story. How did this all happen? You know what I'm saying? There is a lot of lore within Tekken 8, and y'all know me. If y'all been on this channel for a while, y'all know I am a sucker for lore. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with this. So the story of Tekken starts with a married couple in this story. One of those partners is a very powerful and very skilled fighter, and this guy is also a member of a family tree who is arguably one of the most powerful and busted bloodlines in video game history. Ladies and gentlemen, the person that we are talking about at the moment is none other than the literally unkillable Heihachi Mishima. Now off rip, because Heihachi is part of the Mishima bloodline, he's already an asshole by default. Like, people of the Mishima bloodline have done a lot of effed up things. They're either crash outs or they're just effing crazy. But at the time, he was doing a bit alright. Keyword, a bit. He was trying to, he was trying to live normally. He was trying to settle down. That's why I brought up, the couple, because Heihachi Mishima was married to Kazumi. Keyword, was. The reason why I put that in quotations, because apparently Kazumi was sent to kill Heihachi. Even though Heihachi was trying to, settle down, he was actually trying to be cool. Like I said, these Mishima people are effing crash outs. Nevertheless, Heihachi felt heartbroken when he had no choice but to murder Kazumi in the fence. Now, while doing that fight, Heihachi would think that Kazumi being sent to murder him was the only shocking truth, but nah, that wasn't even the only one. Another shocking truth is that Kazumi carries a hidden power called the Devil Gene. If I were to put it into simpler terms of how that power works, basically they have an alter ego that's like I guess demon version of them. They're able to immensely amplify their stats. They're able to shoot lasers out their effing foreheads. Like, they can do crazy things. So that was another shocking truth that Heihachi discovered. Now, moving on, they also had a son named Kazuya Mishima. Kazuya ends up discovering that his mother was murdered by his own father, so he went to go confront Heihachi. Now, things are already complicated enough with what just happened beforehand, right? Now, at that point, Kazuya is already feeling rageful. He's already feeling vengeful and conflicted. Now, you would think Heihachi would try to de-escalate the situation and explain exactly what happened. But you also gotta understand, as I said earlier, the Mishima bloodline are crazy as fuck. Now, as I said, Kazuya went to confront Heihachi, but you know what Heihachi did in response?
Basically, he said fuck you and threw that nigga off a cliff.
And apparently Heihachi Mishima did that just to see if Kazuya would have survived, because apparently in his mind, if he survived, then that means he carries the Devil Gene, which he does. He does carry the Devil Gene, and he did survive that fall. So I'm not knocking you for that, but this is what I'm thinking, right? In the lore, Heihachi also runs a corporation, not just any corporation. He runs a worldwide corporation called the Mishima Saibatsu, and they are literally one of the most, if not the most powerful corporation, the most powerful elite group in the world. They have access to damn near everything: weapons, materials, elite scientists, elite doctors. They even have their own private military. And I'm sitting here thinking, dude, you had the resources to like get doctors or scientists to just check his blood to see if he carries the Devil Gene. You honestly did not have to do that. You pretty much like I said earlier, these Mishima people are fucking crash outs. But anyways, nevertheless, Kazuya survived, and he dedicates his entire life to getting his lick back on Heihachi Mishima. But also at a time in his life, he also ended up having a son. His name is Jin Kusama. Now, you would think with what Kazuya experienced as a child, as an adult, he would try to be a better man than what Heihachi was, and still is, right?
Hell no.
Bros end up being the same piece of crap as Heihachi. First off, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna start with this. Kazuya is a fucking deadbeat. That man never gave a damn about his own son. Now, if I'm not mistaken, during the lore, like, I don't know all of it, but apparently Heihachi went to Jin, telling Jin that Kazuya killed his mother, so he wanted to train him to avenge his mother. And that's what happened. Heihachi ended up training Jin Kusama in the Mishima style fighting. Then in like, what, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, maybe Tekken 4, Jin ends up beating Kazuya. And you would think that Heihachi would congratulate Jin on avenging his mother. Hell no. You gotta understand, I'm gonna keep on repeating this. The Mishima people are fucking crazy. He ends up betraying Jin and literally switch cheese that nigga in the head. And it gets even crazier because Jin ends up surviving the gunshot because he also carries the devil gene. Then he also goes on a mission on getting his lick back on Heihachi while getting his lick back on Kazuya at the same time. So now during the whole series, these three niggas been hating each other for 8 games straight. I mean, at the very least, that's better than Scorpion and Sub-Zero because them niggas were hating each other for 9 games straight. And they still hate each other in Mortal Kombat 1 in spite of Liu Kang literally changing the universe and making the timeline so that Sub-Zero and Scorpion are actual blood brothers. And they still hate each other. Like, bruh. Yo, there's this one dialogue, there's this one voice line in MKX where Sub-Zero asked if Scorpion if Scorpion will ever have any peace with him. Then Scorpion responded with not in this or any other timeline. And I ain't gonna lie to you, gang, I actually believe him. But anyways, that's enough about the lore because I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. Tekken lore might be one of the most complicated pieces of lore in gaming history. The gameplay is mesmerizing to watch, and it's kind of hard to explain it. Like, it's kind of hard to find the words to explain how Tekken gameplay looks and feels. You know how with fighting games they have their own unique, distinct feeling or aesthetic, like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has their aesthetic of combo strings and juggling and, you know, amplifying your attack. In my opinion, Tekken comes with fluidity, if that's even a word. Tekken comes with fluidity and movement. And Tekken, in my opinion, also pays homage to the many fighting styles that humanity has created. And 9 times out of 10, each character has their own distinct signature fighting style. Say for instance, Eddie Guerrero, his fighting style is Capoeira. If I pronounce that right, I'll never be able to pronounce that right, but anyways, yeah, Eddie has that fighting style. Then there's Steve, his fighting style is boxing. Then there's King, his fighting style is pretty much, you know, wrestling. Then there's Horan, his fighting style is Taekwondo. Then there's Raven gives you this shinobi slash ninja like fighting style. Then there's Kazuya, Jin, and Heihachi. They literally have their own kind of original like fighting style, which is the Mishima fighting style. Like, the list goes on and on. Now, 2 more things that I want to go over, and then I'm gonna end the episode here. First off, we can't end this episode without talking about the music. Okay, the background music, OST, hands down, some of the best pieces of music in video game history, if not the best. And I don't get what anybody else to say. Like, you can't, there's no way that you're playing this game and you're not bobbing your head to this. The Tekken games will always be a masterpiece, no doubt about it. But the last thing I wanted to go over, and it's kind of quick before I end this episode, is kind of a request from Bandai Namco. Those are the people who create the Tekken games. But my question is, why the fuck won't y'all bring back Christy Montero? No, like, dead ass. On a serious note, it's been over 6 years since I seen this girl on the character selection. Where's she at, bro? I understand that her and Eddie have the same fighting style. Well, literally because they're relatives, but I don't care, bring her back. But yeah, I think that does it for today's video. I really appreciate you guys for visiting the channel and clicking on this video. My name is Raito Sensei the Light Warrior, and this has been one dope nostalgia gaming episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, comment your favorite game, or comment what was your best part of Tekken games, or if Tekken is your favorite fighting game. Please have faith, drink a lot of water, try to have a balanced diet, try to eat right, try to exercise, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.